magic.
Have you ever tried any drugs, recreational, for focus, etc.?
Welcome back to my channel, my friends. So on Instagram, I asked you guys to ask me some personal questions. Maybe something's been on your mind and you're looking for some life advice, which is why I brought you on. Because I feel like you give really good life advice. And I sometimes give risky advice.
Yeah, if you go to Natacha for life advice, it's going to be the risky stuff. It's either going to be a huge win or it's going to be
massive losses. You guys have been super open yourselves, asking about what's on your mind, what's really on your mind. Don't worry, everything's anonymous. The only ones on the line here are me and Mario.
It was a bit anonymous.
This whole video, it's an open book.
This video is actually a book.
This video is actually a book, okay? Read the pages.
Have you ever tried any drugs, recreational, for focus, etc.?
Yes, I have. I've only done one, and I've done the old green.
The old green?
Yeah, the old green.
Not the new stuff?
Not the new green, the Old Testament green. But I have taken it in its many forms. The form of brownies, the form of
joint,
the form of
the vape. You've vaped
the vape. So I've tried it in its many forms, but I will say, and that makes me sound like I'm a frequent user.
Yeah, it does actually.
But I have really only done it maybe like a handful of times.
The last time that we did it, Natacha made a batch of weed blondies for the whole group, and it had a little extra kick.
Yeah.
There was a good like 1 or 2 day hangover, and ever since then I think you kind of put yourself off of them.
Yeah, I did. But anything else, I haven't tried. I think I'm quite paranoid. I have friends also that do like hallucinogens, like mushrooms, but again, I'm gonna stay clear because
if there's 2 things that Natacha has, is an imagination and focus. So we want to stay away from anything that amplifies those. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Just the one, just the old green, you know? Keeping it original. Keeping it very vanilla. Green vanilla.
Matcha.
Matcha, yes. Have you ever had a Brazilian wax?
Yes, I have. I have one right now, in fact. I assume that question was for me, right?
It actually wasn't. I haven't had a Brazilian, but I've had a Hollywood wax, which is where you just take it all off. Which I personally prefer. I just feel like, you know, I feel more free. That's just my personal thing. Brazilian is just more, it's like neater. It's like neat. You keep the hair in some places, and then you just really neaten it up.
A bit like my sideburns.
Like that. So I do Hollywood waxes, not really Brazilian. Just take it all off, you know, plain and simple, front and back, get it off, whip it off. It's done in 5 minutes.
Well, not when you do it though.
If you get it done by someone else, it's done in 5 minutes. If you do it yourself, it's
done in about 2 hours, yeah.
And it will be so painful and traumatic. And just don't do it, you know? And I also wax.
Oh yeah, she does that.
Yeah. Hollywood wax the tash as well.
Okay, do brands avoid working with you because you expose if they're shady? Thinking of that military keto company.
Oh, what was that called? Human. No, well, I don't feel like they do because I still get approached by a lot of companies that claim they're backed in science. I know where they're coming from because I made that video and that was supposed to be a sponsored video, and then I thought, you know what? Cancel the sponsorship because this is actually a really bad product, and then I slated the product. I don't feel like brands actually look at my videos. I think they literally just look at audience size. Oh look, she's got a YouTube channel. Oh look, it's in fitness.
Yeah, right now the ones that are bigger, the metabolism hackers, remember them?
Oh yeah.
The
I've got so many emails about those.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, send me over some science, you know? If you say it's science back, send me over some science. 1 paper.
Okay. Having said that,
the EMS company. Yeah, I did a video where I was slamming the EMS products, you know, those 6-pack. Then they actually took that footage, muted me, and used it for an ad for that product. Like, the audacity. Hats off to the audacity.
Yeah, I almost respect it, actually.
I'm literally in the middle of saying that this thing doesn't work, and it's in their advert. I mean, the cojones it takes to do something that illegal. Wow.
Who's the more affectionate one of you and Mario? It's me, come on, let's be honest.
No, that's not true, because I can be, when I'm affectionate, I can be very affectionate, but I have to be in the mood.
Natacha's affection is like this, and then it really, it's got some nice curves to it.
Whereas Mario's is just constant, in terms of how much affection you can truly put out. I think I'd take that.
So you're doing 1 rep max of affection?
Yeah, I'm doing a 1 rep max affection. That's me right up there. You do have a good level of affection. I feel like everyone feels that in you. But then I will beat you at absolute affection.
I will beat... Who says I will beat you?
Pure affection. That's my level of affection right there. Okay, so I've had a few questions like this. All worded slightly different. Do you see yourself as too skinny at the moment, or is this the figure you want to keep? I think I'll always be too skinny in someone's eyes, too muscular in someone else's, too short in someone else's. Like, you just can't please everyone. My priority is feeling my best. That's why I do fitness in the first place, and performing my best, and also maintaining my health. Like, the health can never be compromised. I did decide to target a little bit of fat loss in order to feel my best, because I know that in the past, having been leaner, I do feel like stronger and more agile. But that doesn't mean that fat loss is like the key to all of those problems. Like, in order to feel my best in the past, sometimes I've had to gain fat, and that's...
Yeah, so like you wanted to find that spot again.
Yeah, like I just wanted to find that spot again. But I think where everyone feels their best is different. It's important not to kind of compare across too many people, because everyone feels their best at a different stage. But now I just really want to work on performance, and that's my goal. So wherever my body takes me from there, maybe I will gain a bit of fat, maybe... Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be losing anymore, but maybe I will gain a bit of fat, and that's completely fine with me. Also, I will say that I think you're referring to the last video where I did my week of workouts. Yeah,
you looked very slim in that.
I did look very lean in that, and I do tend to look leaner than usual in the first week of my period, and then it fluctuates over like 30 days. So that was a particularly lean week for me, but I wouldn't
Is that when, do you feel like that's when that question started then?
Yeah, I feel like that's when that question started. Like, I had lost fat, plus you were also seeing me on a very lean week.
Okay,
you know?
got you.
Whereas like the average is like probably a little bit...
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, how old were you when you lost your virginity? I feel the pressure. I felt the pressure so hard. I remember I lost my virginity at 18, but I remember basically all of my friends having lost it. It felt like centuries before me. But even though there was so much pressure, one thing I did was I just knew that I wanted to wait for someone who it actually meant something with. So someone that I actually cared about, who cared about me as well. For me, it was a very big thing, and it was a very personal thing, and I was self-conscious already. And the first time you have it, it's so painful. I mean, it was for me, it was so painful for the first like 20 times I had sex. So doing it with someone that you trust and that you actually like actually made a really big difference for me, and someone that actually respects you as well made a really big difference for me. I just know that I would have regretted it if I hadn't waited for Mario.
Yeah, see, I didn't do that, and I kind of wish that that was my experience. I kind of rushed it in the sense, well, I was 18.
Liked her?
Yeah, so I was 18. I did like the girl that I lost it with. There wasn't that deep connection, and I kind of wish I waited for that. If I could do it over again, I probably would have done that.
If other people are making you feel bad, turn it on them.
Forget them.
Yeah.
It's not harming them, is it?
It's not, your virginity isn't harming anyone around you.
It's not causing anyone pain.
So continue to be a virgin until you feel ready. That's my advice.
That's my advice.
Yeah.
No, that's my advice. Where is your jewelry from? I love it.
All right, I'll do a quick tour. So I've got a few piercings on my ears. And most of my jewellery comes from either Logan Hollowell, who's an American jeweller, or Maria Tash for the earrings. And then the gold pieces on my hands are from Gucci and Logan Hollowell. And then my necklaces, which are my most important pieces, are this one, which it was given to my mum on her Holy Communion. And then this necklace, which was given to my grandma by my granddad, literally like, I want to say like 60 years ago. So it's a very old piece.
Wow.
Why is that so hard to do? I literally can't see.
Go.
And then this watch is Casio. Just super simple. I feel like it goes with everything. You can dress it up, you can dress it down. And it's got a little blue light, which I personally highly appreciate. And I always have it 6 minutes ahead so that I'm never late for
because
things.
She's always 6 minutes late. And so it kind of just evens out.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you feel, listen to this one, about the fitness influencer space online at the moment? Is it trending up or trending down? So I guess that means in terms of like the quality of stuff that's going out.
I don't like conflict. But in the spirit of being an open book today, I actually think that it was kind of trending up until 2020.
Okay.
And then when 2020 hit during the pandemic, I think since then it's been in a decline. And I'll tell you why.
Tell me
why.
I
think there's a few reasons. The first is that I think a lot of content throughout COVID has gone up over-promising like short-term results, and I feel like that means we're not forming healthy expectations and habits in fitness. So we're expecting like quick results and doing it short-term. The second is I feel like there's a lot of commentary channels that have kind of taken up a lot of the fitness space that aren't necessarily a bad thing. I think it comes from a really good place, but I think perhaps the execution has kind of made it feel like the fitness space is in, it feels a bit negative. Like it's like brought like a bit of a negative energy to the space.
I think they're prioritizing short-term views by using titles and thumbnails that are unfortunately quite negative, even when they support the content or the creator that they're reviewing. Fitness can be quite an intimidating place, and I don't think this contributes to creating a welcoming energy.
So that kind of adds a bit of negativity, even though I think originally the commentary channels are trying to do a good thing.
For sure.
Like calling people out when, like, I'm not gonna call people out.
I think the principle is great. I think the execution isn't, we're not fully there yet to what they can be.
That's the second thing,
Sorry,
which we went on a bit of a tangent.
And
then the third is that I feel like people are now using science in their content, even though they don't actually understand what they're talking about. And that actually is terrifying. A, they don't understand what they're saying. B, using science in vain, it like hurts.
You're saying we're slightly...
I think we're on the slight decline. I feel like it's where you can just kind of
turn it
around. We can bring it back. We just need to be a bit more like positive and constructive towards each other, lead a bit more by example, talk about what we know, and do what we're good at. Because there are creators out there that are doing stuff that I think has deviated from what they're actually good at.
Yeah, true.
And like it's very easy to lose your sense of who you are when you create content on YouTube.
We can bring them back.
Crank.
That's all we need, just a little bit of this.
From there,
that's how we rotate.
Rotate and then dislocate.
Oh shit, sorry.
And then show your titties. And that's how you make content.
What do you think is the next body trend? Body trend.
I actually find this really interesting. That's what I did my video on, where I was exploring like the perfect female body over the last 100 years and how quickly it changes in terms of what is most culturally relevant at the time and where that comes from. And usually it comes from a commercial incentive where there's a company selling a product to help you achieve something and it preys on that insecurity. Or it's something that's like super culturally relevant. Maybe I kind of have an idea. I don't even want to say it though, because I don't care.
Yeah,
and I hope
and you don't want to. Yeah,
and I don't want to
bring
endorse
anyone's attention to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to bring anyone's attention to it or make people feel that that is what they should be working towards. Because you should just be working on yourself. You should just be prioritizing what makes you happy and healthy. Remove my answer from that.
So you're gonna not answer about
answering.
what you think is the next.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. And you are beautiful how you are. I hope that we realise how pointless it all is and that we are just being preyed on our insecurity of how we look. It's time consuming, it's money consuming, and it also can just be like not good for your health.
Yeah. How do you deal with the pressure of being presented as a girl who's always got her shit together? So, you know, your shit kind of in one solid piece.
One solid
I think
mass.
is the way that...
I don't feel like I do.
I don't think that you do either.
I definitely don't feel a pressure to put out that image. I guess in my experience, any level of achievement has always come with some level of sacrifice. So maybe that sacrifice was my health when I wasn't sleeping properly and not eating properly and working too much and my stress levels were too high. Or maybe it was that I didn't get to see my family for like months and months and months, or my friends for maybe over a year. So I never want to make it feel like I've got everything together and then also had some level of achievement, because that's never been the way that it's happened for me. There's always been something that I've had to compromise, and that's a choice I've made and I'm happy with it, and I'm still happy to make those sacrifices, but I never want it to feel like there's no sacrifice.
It's like a free win, yeah.
Yeah, and also when I'm making a video, that's when I've kind of got my shit together in making that video.
Were you saying off to the side?
Yeah, off to the side. Like there'll be other things that have kind of really slipped through the cracks.
Okay.
Or it's like kind of crumbling apart.
Oh.
But for the video, it's all good. Like if I'm doing like a Science Explained video, like all my research is done.
Yeah.
Like what I want to say is all good. Like all of that, great.
Your sleep for the last 2 weeks, on the other hand,
compromised.
You stockpiling the whole hallway with parcels that you keep telling me that you're gonna return even though you never actually do it.
Compromised.
Right, okay.
So you see, there's a lot of things compromised, but I'm not gonna, in a Science Explained video, I'm not gonna tell you I've got 10 parcels I need to return and that I haven't called my mum for FaceTime. So yeah, so we know you're open to new experiences. Is that also in the bedroom? Actually, not really. I like to keep it robust.
That's not a great word choice.
I like to keep it original.
No.
I keep it vanilla and classic. That's what I do. I really understand the fundamentals and I get the classics right.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
You don't get too functional with it.
Stick to the basics, keep it classic, get the basics right, as a good chef would, you know? Okay, any advice on finding a Mario would be great. There's pee in the dating pool. A little bit of pee's alright, you know?
Maybe I am the pee.
Maybe Mario is the pee.
Swim to it.
Locate the pee. What to do to find you.
Don't make this about me, please.
I personally like meeting people in real life. So if I was dating now, I would go out and seek the activities that I would like to share with my other half.
I also think you should start with
friendship.
Yeah, like looking for friends. I think it's really hard when the whole basis of the knowing someone, the whole basis of the relationship is to form a relationship, which is why I think I would really struggle on the dating apps, because the whole context is like, okay, I'm looking for someone romantically, whereas it's like, dude, there's so much pressure. We were friends for months before we even thought about it. But I think what you said is definitely true, where it's like, increase your surface area for that person. So like, do the things you love. I
feel like as long as your friendship is the foundation,
definitely,
that's the start. Like, you don't have to love everything that the other person loves. You could hate everything about the other person. What is your biggest piece of financial advice?
Wow.
I think save and invest. I'm looking at you, see if I've answered that correctly.
Okay, let's go.
Not spending so much on things that you don't actually care about. Like, I really take, if I want to buy clothes, I spend ages thinking about whether I actually like it. Like and sometimes that actually, I'm the fool because that thing ends up selling out. And then I'm like, oh. And you actually realise you would have liked it, okay. Yeah. I really take a long time and think, will I love this in a year's time? Or even longer than that. So yeah, that's what I do. I buy a lot less now. I think there's actually very little that I would want to add to that. As long as you're really conscious about what brings you happiness, not for 5 minutes or like 2 days or 3 days or a week or 2 weeks, but actually brings you happiness that sustains. We all realise that it's very few things. So what you're telling me is the 4 years of education you spent on economics, I've pretty much smashed you out of the water. What's the weirdest interaction you've ever had with a follower? Oh. You guys are too cool for me. I've never had a weird interaction. I'm starting to think that I'm the weird one. I don't remember any weird ones. Also, I'm super, like, I get starstruck like nothing else. When I first saw Ennis... You guys haven't seen weird until you've seen... I was so all over the place. Awkward, weird, everything. Must have freaked him out. The first time I ever had it was with a dancer from Strictly Come Dancing that I saw at Marylebone Station. And I was like... completely, and my mum was like, oh, is this one of your teachers? And she completely embarrassed me. It killed me. Yeah, I mean, you just can't outwit me. So don't ever feel like... Don't even try. Don't even try, okay? Because I will take it another level. But the only thing I would say is that sometimes I get home from being out during the day and then I'll get a DM being like, oh, I saw you but I didn't want to come say hi. That makes me feel a little bit sad, only from the standpoint that I feel like I messed up. Like, I didn't make you feel comfortable enough to come and say hi. And that's on me, that's not on you. And so yeah, it's not gonna be too weird, honestly. I'm just happy to see you. It's always nice to see a friend you haven't seen for a while, you know? Just quickly, how do we pronounce your last name?
correctly.
Océan.
Océan.
Wrong. C'est.
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 C'est. Where's your tongue?
In my mouth. But where else can I put it?
You're doing too much of a s. It's just c'est.
C'est. Océan.
No, that's wrong.
Okay, but you're not really giving me feedback. You're just saying no.
All I can say is that I hear it and it's wrong.
I hear it and it's right.
Okay. You're not giving it enough depth in the mouth.
Océan.
It's a touch closer. But still wrong.
Okay.
Tell me to say something in Greek and you'll hear exactly what I'm saying.
Just say Galimera.
Galimera.
That's like an 8 out of 10. One more time.
Natacha Océan.
Yeah, but you're saying Natacha, I was saying.
No, I'm saying Natacha.
What kind of dog would you guys get if the opportunity so arose?
A dog is cute by nature. Like some dogs, whatever size they are, whatever breed they are, some dogs are just cute. Like their behaviour is so cute. That's
really
all I ask
endearing,
for.
yeah.
Like put your arm out where they're just like. No, but sometimes they just have cute mannerisms. Like it's just the personality for me.
Which breeds do you think you find the cutest?
I like the little Dachshunds. And the little Corgis.
She loves the Corgis.
Their little butts.
She loves the way they walk.
They're just so like innocent and pure. Yeah. So that was the last question. I feel like we covered a plethora of topics. You know?
There's something for everyone.
There's something for everyone. This video has you covered for something, you know?
This video's got to be worth something, right?
This video, my channel's got to be worth
at.
something, right? Yeah. I love you guys so much. Please give us a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button to join our incredible family. And if you missed out on the Q&A, go follow me on Instagram because that's where I always do my Q&As. It's just a lot easier to kind of sift through all the questions. I love ya. Bye.
Bye. Bye.